Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we are diving back into Great League. I'm joking, this is a Sunshine Cup video with my best teams overall. So today we're gonna dive into this weird meta of Great League that is coming up alongside Ultra League, and of course we're not gonna analyze those four teams just as they are, but also we're gonna take a look at their core breakers so that you can have a clear understanding of what to expect from your opponents and what you should be afraid of, and also what you are strong up against too. So with that said, we're gonna have now the first team out of the total 4. We're gonna usually do that, and of course for the first team we're having a Victini up in front. We're kind of familiar of Victini after 2 weeks of Psychic Up in Go Battle League, which was not the best idea ever by Niantic, but still Victini was an absolute beast back there. So if you have built your own Victini here, there is another chance for you to showcase it, because this Pokemon is absolutely amazing, able to resist those counters as well, which as you're gonna see towards the entire video, not only Obstacle will provide that counter damage, but also Blaziken and Vigoroth will be the most notable ones. At the back we have an Obstacle of our own as a closer, and of course the safe switch will be Cradily. This team has a simple strategy. You need to bait out the opposing fighting type. It might be Vigoroth, it might be Blaziken, it might be something else, but you can do that only with your Cradily, because if you can bait out that Pokemon, and just imagine that Vigoroth is gonna be the most usual one, you can still bring into no HP or at least stretch some shields with your back-to-back Rock Slides or even the Power Whips. So this Pokemon is absolutely amazing. Also it's gonna have access to the Rock typing, which is gonna be extremely helpful against the Body Slams of the Vigoroths, and of course against the Flyers. So definitely an all-around Pokemon, the very safe one for this cup. But for this team it is gonna be the best safe switch ever to provide extra coverage, to draw out the fighter so that then you can finish it off with Victini, and then Obstacle most likely will have the empty field for you to sweep it around. So with that said, we have the core breaker on the face of Blaziken, and that is mainly because of the backline, while up in front can still survive at least one V-Create, which can be kinda troublesome, but still you're gonna see that Blaziken is extremely glassy, so you can definitely play around that Pokemon. Coming up next, we have another team that goes by the same philosophy. So you need to bait out once again the fighter with your double, which is another pseudo fighter that can work for the meta. I really like how well and easily it can reach those Body Slams, while payback is not gonna help you much. So I learned about this one after I used this team in this practice battle, because you can always use your SIP Pokemon, your double, in a weird way with Wild Charge as your safe switch, because you can have better coverage against certain threats, but with payback you're gonna get more coverage against Steelix, which happens to be the core breaker of this team as well. So the core breaker of this team is Steelix only because it can outspeed your Gliscor to the Earthquake for sure with at least one breaking swipe, and right after it can resist a lot your wing attacks and the air releases. So that's why you need to play accordingly when facing a Pokemon like Steelix up in front. At the back, of course, you can provide a fair good amount of battles with your Bomba Snow, but still it is gonna be a close win for Steelix. That's why it is a core breaker for this team, but of course you can still rely on your payback version of double if you want to go with that option. But of course, once again, I recommend going with Wild Charge over payback if you want to have any other battle, especially the Flyers, towards your advantage. With that said, I think that a Bomba Snow is also gonna be the key to this team, because it provides a lot of coverage with its typing, especially against the Flyers and the Glide Brothers, but also you're gonna see that with Energy Ball and your Grass typing, you're also gonna be very strong against those ground types, and especially the Mud Boys, and especially once again against the face of Swampert or a Quagsire. From one Glide to another, we're gonna have not Gliscor but instead Gligar as our safe switch on the next team showcase. At the back, we're also gonna have Pidgeot, which happens to be the better flyer that you can use, and I'm saying better because now Noctowl is not gonna be around, especially after the nerf, the big nerf on the Sky Attack. So Pidgeot is gonna be the sole flyer that you can use in order to have the upper hand, while Glide Brothers might also be flying, but still they're not gonna be used as a flyer. Most probably like like a ground type Pokemon, because you can do a lot of solid work with those two. And of course Gligar right here as a safe switch will be able to provide that extra coverage that you need for your Pidgeot in order to draw out the ice type or whatever else your Pidgeot might be afraid of, so that then you can finish it off with your Steelix up in front. And of course you already know that Pidgeot with energy, and of course when shields are down, a pure Brave Bird can absolutely demolish anything that the opponent might have. Do not be afraid to go with those back-to-back Brave Birds, you are not gonna regret it. This team is absolutely insane, and especially with Pidgeot as it's closer. So the core breaker of this team obviously is gonna be a Piloswine. None other has been a notable core breaker actually, to be honest, so you can definitely hope that Piloswine is not gonna be that much around. Those ice moves will not be appreciated by the backline, while high horsepower will still be kinda one-shotting your Steelix, so definitely a core breaker for this team, but not one that you can see so often in Go Battle League and therefore Sunshine Cup. Into the final team showcase trainers, and we're having the Swampy up in front, while we're gonna follow it with our Cantonian Ninetales and of course the amazing Hisuian Electrode. So let's start off with Swampert up in front. I do not recommend going for a Shadow here, just go ahead and use the regular one, you're not gonna regret it. And for your second charge attack, because the first one has to be Hydro Cannon, I recommend going for Sludge Wave towards those grass types, and you're gonna need that coverage for sure. So at the back now about Ninetales, you should go for the Shadow one if you have the Legacy Ember move. Otherwise, do not do that. Go with the regular one, and Fire Spin will get you there to those charge attacks fairly faster. And of course, you're not gonna regret it, because you need that extra bulk since you have kinda of a unique and at the same time glassy team on your screens. So as a safe switch here, I think that Hisuian Electrode will work pretty well for the meta. Doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, and of course can explode against anything. I think that those wild charges, even when they are neutral, can absolutely demolish a lot of those glassy mons that exist in the meta, while Energy Ball is still gonna be there for you. As a core breaker, I haven't found any notable one other than this Ludicolo, because of its grass typing being kinda deadly to your Swampert. Has access to Bubble for your Ninetales, and of course Ice Beam for Electrode. So yeah, that is gonna sum things up for today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed as soon as you finished watching. And of course, as always, thank you for watching till the end. And of course, before you go, just be sure to leave a like, and just be sure that you have subscribed to my channel, because more than 70% of you haven't, and that it's quite the bummer. So over here I have two videos for you to check out, feel free to check them out, and I will see you all into the next one.